Okay, hello everyone, and very nice to welcome you all to our community call today. You can see a couple of faces of our team, so we're very proud to have you all here today. Thank you very much, Archie, for setting up the call and for making sure that everything works so far. We'll see how it goes. Welcome everyone. It's really nice that you're all here. Let me just quickly start by giving a quick update about what happened in the last couple of months. Then we'll introduce a couple of our new team members, see who are the people that joined us. There's also a couple of people that cannot be here today, which you will all obviously meet along the line. Then we will talk a little bit about the development so far, about the product. We have a couple of new things, I think, that you all haven't heard of yet so far. And then we'll have some time for questions from all of you as well. So you can also all raise your hand if you have questions in between, or type questions into the chat at any point in time. So we'll try to see if we can answer them also if they come up. All right, so let's get started. So what happened in the last couple of months at Join? Well, obviously we had quite a bit of work to see how we would like to set up the company. It's not very simple to just decide basically on a company structure, on what jurisdiction or location you would like to be placed in as a company. And there's a lot of other legal things that have to be considered just to make sure that the foundation of a company, the foundation of the project is solid. And to make sure that we basically align all our legal background and our setups with the values that we have and with the ideas that we have in order to move forward with the project. So that's what we did first, obviously. Then the second thing we did, and I want to keep this a little bit short, is obviously we needed money. So in came the idea of how would we raise funds for the company, how would we finance at least our first couple of months until we actually do generate some revenue. And I must say this was a very interesting process, but as we promised and we stuck to this promise, our way of financing the company was not and will never be just taking money from small investors or from people from the community. So we decided against the classical approach of releasing a token for initial funding before you can go, let's say, into further development rounds. And we decided to actually finance quite a bit of the operation from our own pockets to start off. So everything you've seen so far and everything that happened so far basically came out of our own background, and then to go directly into funding options with venture capital, or let's say for the people who don't know so much about this topic, people who buy equity in a company rather than buy tokens or get a better price on an early token release that would then later on only be dumped at the community, or that would create, let's say, an unfair playing field or unlevel playing field for everyone who would be interested in buying a token at the later stage. This is also the reason why we're not in a rush with a token release, because our model of financing ourselves is quite more complex, as we'll also see later when we describe a little bit the strategy of what we're working on at Join and what we want to do. So let's say we managed to get some interest for this. We talked to some very reputable VCs in the space and could convince someone to join us in the literal sense of the word. We will not release any names yet today in this call, and I want to say this in general because I know there's going to be a lot of questions. Who are the people that we're talking about? Obviously, there's non-disclosure agreements in place for most of the things until official announcements are made from all sides, be it with partners or people that we work with, as well as people who invest in the company. Now, I want to be trying to be as transparent as I can with everything that we do, because I think it's just, there's nothing we have to hide. So obviously we would like to generate more funds at a later stage, or we're still in the process of generating more funds, but we're at the stage where we can start operations, start building a product. Actually, we already started building a product, which we'll get to a little bit later as well. I think we were quite happy about the way these things went. And there was a lot of interest, and not just from VC capital as well, but let's say I think a lot of people that we spoke to in the space found the project very, very interesting. So because of that, we are now ready to basically announce a launch date for Join. I know it's been a couple of months and everyone has been waiting for it very hard, but we will officially launch Join on the 16th of October. This is when our website is going to go live. This is when some community incentives are going to happen. And this is when we'll get a full overview of what the project is going to look like. And possibly. Let's see how Koplo does and how quick he is and how many working hours Sveta has for us, who, by the way, is doing an amazing job already on the designs. And I think we're going to see some later on as well, I hope. We'll also be ready for some people to test some part of the product already in the best case. But I can't promise it yet, so let's see. All right, so let's get moving and let's see who are the new people that we join. So obviously we try to operate, let's say, on the verge of traditional finance as well as decentralized finance. So we need credibility in the traditional space, not just because we need it, but also because there's a lot of regulation, there's a lot of things that need to be taken into consideration, especially for these traditional company issues. We wanted to get people on board who are well known in the space, who know what they're doing, and have a really extensive background. We were really lucky with a couple of people who decided to join us as our first official hires, so to say, join, except from the team that you already know. So I'm very proud to announce that our new Chief Financial Officer for Join is Kumardev Chatterjee. People who know a lot of AI and metaverse things might know him already. He's a very well-versed speaker and he has a lot of experience. You can, if you all want, check out his LinkedIn. Just scan the QR code here and you can check him out immediately. I think he's a very interesting person to join our company, and we are really looking forward to working with him. So we'll separately introduce him, I think, at a later point in time so that you can all get to know him in person as well. The next person that we managed to hire for Join is, oh, sorry, I think Archie is telling me with this slide that I didn't speak enough about the things that he's doing or has been doing for us so far. So Kumar, as a CFO, attended Palau Blockchain Summit, where he met Vitalik Buterin. He also talked about Join with him, and also the Serum Foundation is interested in Join as well. As you can see, he has an extensive background, even advising the royal household at the Buckingham Palace. For everyone who is a fan of the royals or our British team members, this obviously is very special for me. This is more weird that this picture of the lady is so large in the background, but well, okay. So yeah, Kumardev is very well connected. He knows a lot of people, and I think he really likes the project and wants to get all these contacts into the project as well. So we're really happy about that. Now to the next person. So obviously, when it came to deciding on the strategy, we wanted to be self-sustainable as a company as quickly as we can. So our first idea was, before we have to take any money from small investors, how can we create a stable sense of revenue, or how can we basically allow ourselves to generate enough money to keep the company functional for quite a period of time. If you want to scale, especially retail app, obviously this takes a lot of money to do that. And it's hard to just rely on single or double investments, or to go through one investment round after the next. We've seen this with multiple projects who've had issues with this. So I think the most sustainable approach is to generate a stream of revenue that will allow us to build the speed we want, to build the product we want, and to build the product for the users and not for VC investors or for people who just put money in the company. So we are also starting an institutional investment arm of our company, and we're very happy that this arm will be led by our head of financial products, Pierre Malishak. Also, you can check his LinkedIn directly through the QR code on the side. He's one of the top people in this industry, and it's absolutely amazing, incredible for us that he is interested in joining, that he's willing to work with us. And I think there's absolutely no one in this industry of traditional asset management as well as venture asset management than Pierre. And the interest in creating institutional products that go directly to DeFi. Basically, you can invest in fiat currency, you can capitalize on the upside of DeFi, and then get paid back out in fiat currency. It's a really novel idea, and we'll hear a little bit more about it later. But so very happy about Pierre joining us as well. And if he wants, he will also at a later stage maybe introduce himself to you as well. We will see. All right, so I think this is pretty much it for me. Most of the team members that are here, most of you already know, so I don't need to do very long introductions. But the really cool thing is that we have a really new tech team. Are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, so let's move on to the tech a little bit, because this is anyway what people are interested in, other than my business talk, blah, blah. So let us know what's happening on your side.
So I will make it short. So the main idea was actually to have a small, efficient team. And most of it, we wanted to get people who know crypto and who knows the banking side, and who can also work on the both side of the world. So we are actually currently 5 to 6 people in the tech team, mostly split between the security side, which is very important, especially on DeFi, where we have seen a lot of hacked, exploit, and everything. So even though we can have audit, etc., we also work on some module to be efficient on chain in order to intercept hacker and to block every attack. So we have created a team on this one. We also have some people on the mobile app, on the iPhone and Android mobile app who is working on both. We have some backend developer mostly for all the complexity of the blockchain to make it simple for you guys, and obviously on the infrastructure side. So we want it short, we want it efficient, and anyone can work on all the subjects. So yeah, small, efficient, and also very security focused mostly. Yeah, I have nothing to add more here, but this is our team.
Awesome, thank you, Koplo. And again, I know everyone is already starting to work really frantically to get a first demo out there. All right, next up, let's talk a little bit about why we have an institutional arm, and let's talk a little bit about what it's going to look like, what our first product to market in this space is going to be, and how we set it up, and who better to do that than Axel.
Hi, everyone. For the people who don't know me, I'm Axel, Chief Strategy Officer and responsible of the institutional part. As you already know, we will offer several investment products in our application for retails, and one of these products is called Join Yield. And we would like to also offer this opportunity to institutional investors through a fund. So we are investing directly on Uniswap as a liquidity provider in existing pools through our smart contracts. And these smart contracts have been created to optimize ranges, gas fees, compound, allowing us to capture maximum fees distributed to liquidity providers. So we are targeting a pretty good return for institutional investors, and we have a conservative goal for now, considering that backtesting demonstrated significantly better outcomes than expected. Also, we are not really subject to impermanent loss since we are investing in euros or dollars in this fund and receiving dividends in euros or dollars. So in fact, we don't need to be concerned about having more ETH or more Arbitrum in our position. So the only important factors and the overall is the overall value in euros or dollars and the fees generated. So to onboard clients' funds onto the liquidity manager, we are using multiple well-known centralized exchanges such as Coinbase, Kraken, and managing the strategy thanks to our MPC wallet. This would be our first fund, as we are planning to launch several new products along the way, and we managed to onboard the biggest partners as fund administrator, investment manager, and law firm. We can't reveal the name for now, still under NDA, but yeah, something good is coming.
Awesome, thank you, and I'm sure there will be quite a few questions about it also in the chat, and we're happy to answer all of them, of course.
Absolutely.
So, and just from my side, quickly, why does this make sense? Obviously, this institutional products we can bring to market first thing, which means we don't need to have ready retail application, ready retail app. We can already generate revenue. We can use this revenue to run the company, to create the retail app that we all want to be, not, any other old app. And we can really focus on security aspects, especially because we're also operating in a traditional space. Security aspects, regulation aspects are very, very thorough with us. So we also have the chance to be in the MiCA sandbox, to be fully MiCA regulated. And when it comes to our partnerships, once we're starting to work on the MVP product, we're really looking out for regulatory aspects as well. But also, I'm very happy to answer questions about this here or in the chat later also. So next thing we maybe should talk about is how are things going to progress when it comes to marketing, what are our ideas on how to move on, what is our roadmap that is coming up. And so maybe Archie, you would like to talk about this a little bit, and I can just jump in for some.
Yep, sure. I will just share my slide. Just a second. Okay, can you see it?
Yes, yes.
Can you hear me perfectly? Yeah, that's good. So this is a quick overview about what we have done so far on what will be our strategy for the next coming months. So as you can see, there will be 3 different main campaigns. One for our launch that will start in the next coming days, one for the John Yield, which will be our first features, but this one will be linked to the sandbox approval, of course. And the most important one, the campaign for our mobile app launch. Also, during that time, we will participate to 2 conferences that we think are interesting for us. The first will be the Binance Week at Istanbul in November, and the second one, Catalyst at Lisbon in February. A lot of interesting people will be there. About our branding, we hope that you like our logo, which is a direct nod to Matrix and the choice Neo must make between staying in the Matrix world or going into the real world, like with Join, having the choice between the traditional world or the crypto world. We also wanted to capitalize on these true modern and dynamic colors. Regarding our brand image, we want to create a slightly offbeat and vibrant image. The idea about our graphics will be to evoke a sense of familiarity or good feelings through our generational references, such as Matrix for our logo, as you have seen already, and other elements in our communication that you will discover pretty soon. Some words on the website. The first version is done for some time, as you know, but we are already working on the second version that will normally come with the launch of our mobile app. About the initial version, the main goal was to share our vision for Join as clearly and simply as possible, with the key concept of giving power back to user. Hence, our choice to make self-custodial accessible and simplified at the core of our project. We wanted to explain the features, characteristics, and what they will bring to users a bit more in details because, in my opinion, it's important to have a clear and precise understanding of what you are investing in. Like in a relationship, a clear and transparent vision is crucial to establish trust. The Join website 2.0 will be more detailed about our offering for the banking services through our banking partner and our commercial offers. We will clearly be more focused on the app itself. We will launch the second version normally right after the campaign that we plan for our official launch. And last thing, about our marketing strategy to bring users on our app. Our main marketing strategy will aim to replicate the spread of a shockwave, with the crypto user at the epicenter, gradually spreading the benefits of our application to their friends and families, even those who are not crypto users for now and so on. Initially, we will focus on crypto users. We will seek support from a few well-known influencers to help us spread our ideas, participate in some crypto communities AMAs, and major crypto events, while leveraging the valuable context we have established over the past few months, all combined with the effect of our first referral program. The goal will be clearly to onboard as many crypto users as possible. We will be the true foundation of our project, and as I said previously, the epicenter of our shockwave effect. We will also work on our token launch momentum, which will be clearly used to incentivize people to come and join and see how game changer our app will be. And that's it for me.
Thank you, Archie.
Thank you.
All right. So, well, I think what's at the core of it is really actually the main problems that Join is trying to solve. Crypto is complex. It's very hard to access for people who don't know about seed phrases. It seems insecure with all the exploits going on, with all the hacks going on, and yet at the same time it's also insecure because we can't at this stage trust centralized players anymore with any kind of money, be it a bank or be it a crypto exchange or something like FTX or whatever protocol. As soon as they have your money, you are absolutely basically at their mercy, and this is what at Join we just do not want. For users of our app as well as our institutional investors. So we want to make sure that we never hold any client funds on any side of the equation, neither on the institutional side nor on the retail side. And therefore, we need strong banking partners. It's not enough to just have e-money license or whatever, and then just to play around the regulations. We want to be solid at the core. And I think with the tech layout that we have, this is fully possible. Simply because we don't need to hold clients' funds on each side of the equation. And also when it comes to the banking side, we can discuss this later in detail, but we rely only on really trusted sources. Okay, so then let's see what this is going to look like. Sveta, I think you're ready to talk a little bit about what we're working on at the moment and to maybe show a little bit already. Just from my side.
Can you see the screen?
Yeah, I can see the screen. And just before we start into it, this is really now what we're talking about, purely the DeFi side of things. So we're starting basically with a demo version of our smart wallet, simply because it's of the core, it's the core technology that everyone else is built around, or every other thing that our company offers, every other product, every other strategy is built around the fact that we have this technology. So go ahead, Sveta, and show us what we got.
Yeah, thanks. I hope you see the screen, right? Yeah, so from the design perspective, our aim is to bring the smoothest user experience, simply but yet efficient and user-friendly as much as possible, because this field is, as Tina mentioned, not easy for a lot of people to walk into. So our aim is, one of our goals is to bring crypto to everyone. So from a design perspective, as you can see, we stick to our branding, and also keep screens clean without insufficient components or just unnecessary prettifying, just as much as necessary. And about tech side, I think Koplo is the one who can describe it the best. Koplo, you here?
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, so the main idea of the wallets is, like we said before, is to delete all complexity. So you will have technically 2 layers of wallet. The first one will be the MPC wallet that Axel did talk about. This will be your key management. So you won't have any private key, you have the knowledge of having a key actually. We're going to delete for you, and it will still be non-custodial. And on top of it, to delete all the fees, all the different setups that you have to do, like for swap, confirm a swap, make a swap, and then unprove the access, revoke the access, sorry. So account abstraction will enable us actually to do the work for you. So on the screen, on the right, you actually see the swap function with a big modal saying no fees. So this will also enable Join to pay gas fees for you. This means that you don't need any ETH on your wallet, you don't need any Matic on your wallet. Join can pay the fees for you, or you will be able to pay the fees in USDC or whatever currency you choose. This was also one of the key for adoption. Until today, people had to think about how much ETH they have on their wallet to be able to swap, to buy, or to hold, actually. And when you won't have to manage your gas fee, actually. And this will actually enable also new security features like social recovery, like having a ledger to access your fund in case of an issue or whatever. So the app has been made to delete the key, the fees management, but also the chain management. We'll be able to make cross-chain swap always on a non-custodial way. So from a native Bitcoin to a native Ethereum, for example. And yeah, this will enable you to not use any anymore and only use a simple application where you don't have to think about all the complexity on the technical side. Yeah. You can take the rest. Oh, Tina. Tina, you're mute. You're still muted now.
Now, can you hear me?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
All right, good. So what I wanted to say is that you can see two really crucial components here for us. One is user simplicity and guidance, and second is fee management, and that everything is always in the user's custody. And we're already having some questions in the chat about how this is supposed to work, and I think we can absolutely post more comprehensive technical documentation about how this works. It's really not as much a miracle as it sounds, which is why it's weird that no one does it. But the main reason is that people want to hold users' funds in order to make more money with them, which we see how this turns out multiple times. So is there anything I forgot, or are there any immediate questions to this from anyone that's listening to the call? Then you feel free to post them in the chat. Eva, anything from your side? Did you see anything?
I didn't see any questions. I just think, yeah, we do have some graphics, I think, that describe the wallet in a bit more detail, and also how the key distribution works. So maybe we can post that in the chat afterwards.
Very good. Yeah, and by the way, this obviously the fact that this is an MPC wallet with account abstraction just makes it easy. You don't need to have ETH on your wallet, for example, to start off when you're using a wallet. You can just basically top it up, and then you can already be in crypto. You don't need to top up ETH because you can basically pay in fiat currency for the transaction value. Am I right, Pablo?
Yeah. The different possibilities, either you pay in fiat, or we pay for you, or you pay in USDC, or what currency you want to choose.
And there's a lot of other cool features of this, which I'm sure we're going to get into detail at a later stage, like batch transactions. Especially cool, I think, is the cross-chain feature. It just eliminates a lot of the hassle, and we want to have it all in one simple interface, and in such a way that the user really understands what's happening with each step. Also, I saw that the MiCA compliance was a bit of a question as well. It's difficult to be MiCA compliant for most, let's say, centralized exchanges, or there will have to be changes in the setup or structure of it, especially when it comes to compliance or KYC, KYB onboarding, the data that they need to give to the regulator in order to be able to transact businesses. Because they hold client funds mainly. And since we don't hold client funds, it's a lot easier for us. Obviously, it's still not easy, and there's a lot of legal loops that we need to jump through. But technically, what we're going to do is, with the sandbox environment, we're going to start with the regulator from the beginning, which means we're allowed to operate without already being licensed by ourselves, because we have technical oversight by the regulators. This sandbox is against new projects that emerge. And so the first companies that are going to be in the sandbox will be the ones that shape the MiCA infrastructure, as well as the compliance requests for MiCA in itself. So I think this is going to be really beneficial for us to be part of this as well. All right.
And Tina, so will KYC be required is one question.
Yes, KYC will be required. Obviously, especially if you want to on-ramp or off-ramp, we do need you will need to go KYC procedure, yes.
Is it compatible?
Just to add to this, on the contrary to how micro-regulation is going to look like for a couple of companies, it will not be required to send from your wallet in DeFi. So you can send it to anyone, you can receive it from anyone. The person that sends you funds doesn't need to be KYC'd just for on and off ramp. Absolutely need to be.
Yeah, one other question that came up was if it will be compatible with Ledger hard wallets, other hard wallets.
So on the mobile app, it won't be, especially for the beginning, but once we're going to have a web app, people will be able to off and on-ramp with a Ledger. We can also add an action on top of the Ledger. This is possible, and this is something that we are looking for. Also, one something that we want to add on the account abstraction, we'll be able to register your Ledger as a safe guardian. This means that if you have any issue with join or whatever happens in the world, your Ledger will be able to recover the fund that you have on this account abstraction wallet. So we are going to have two types of integration. The first one will be for the fiat ramp. So yes, it will be on the web app. And the second one will be for the social recovery. Yes, you will be able to use your Ledger or any other wallet to recover the funds in case of any issue.
Thank you, Koplo. Yeah, so also just to answer your comment, DRK, no, not technically. So as long as things are non-custodial, always, so no partner is custodial in a transaction, and as long as it's on-chain, there will not be KYC required for the transaction. It will, though, as soon as you're on and off-ramp anywhere, especially if you're a user from the European Union. But, MiCA is just one of the first legislations. Everyone else is going to come up with their own regulations for this, so sooner or later that will anyway not be a possibility to off-ramp or on-ramp anywhere without undergoing some kind of KYC structure if you are in a regulated jurisdiction. All right, I think I see no more questions, but obviously we're around for questions at a later stage as well. So whatever you want to know, just post it in the chat. We'll also post the Medium article for you shortly after this call, just summarizing what we talked about, so you can read through it, which maybe for some people is also easier to grasp all the information than just to listen to it from our uneducated, non-English native speaker minds, except Richard, but he didn't speak, so... and Jeff, but he's not here. Yeah, it was really nice to catch up with everyone and to be in touch again, and we're really looking forward to the launch. And to all of you as a community, it's nice to have a community that is not just bought in with a token, but someone who, gives us feedback and who goes through the process with us. So any more details, just feel free to ask, and have a really nice evening, everyone.
Just was one thing to add, Tina.
Yeah.
The Medium article will be, for the recap, will be available tomorrow.
Okay. All right. That's good enough, I think. All right. Thank you, Archie, for your great work. And thank you, everyone else, for joining. And we'll see each other also. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.